You're listening to LSPN, the authority on sports-related podcasts.
The Calallen Wildcats weekly press conference is brought to you by the Calallen Touchdown Booster Club. The Touchdown Booster Club exists to support and promote the Calallen High School football program by uniting students, parents, coaches, and the community.
The Calallen Football Show is sponsored by Rat Hole Drilling for all your rat hole, mouse hole, and cellar construction needs. ratholedrilling.com. Also by Nolan's Restaurant. Nolan's Restaurant has been a Corpus Christi tradition. Whether you're craving choice steaks, Gulf Coast seafood, real pit barbecue, or their famous original poor boy sandwich, Nolan's delivers high-quality, scratch-made favorites that feel like home. Come taste generations of flavor at Nolan's. We also want to thank Meijer for their support. All right, everybody, join me in welcoming Coach Charlie Reeve to the show. Coach, how you doing?
I'm doing good, Chris. How are you?
I'm doing great, man. We have to talk about that Carroll game. What a fun game, and the great way to finish it, right?
Yeah, it was. It was a great game, and both teams, I thought played really hard, but it was a great game, and really proud of our guys, and kept battling, found a way to win, and in dramatic fashion. So. That was a big win for us on the road, and I think Carroll's a good team, and so to come out of there with a win, and especially the way that we did, was always good. And I think these are why you play these tough games, non-district, and I think some of the lessons that we learned is going to follow with us, throughout the season.
Yeah, definitely. I think it's always good to have a good tough game before district play, and this is a good one. So. For the people who didn't attend it or watch it online, give us a breakdown of the flow of that game because y'all were down early.
Sure, yeah. One of the things that we talked about is we needed to start fast, and we did that. We kicked the ball off to them. They made a little bit of a drive, but we held them on fourth down, got the ball back 2 plays later, punched it in the end zone. Our goal every game was to score on the opening drive of each half, and we ended up doing that. Next series, they took it down and scored. It was kind of a back and forth game, the whole game. We ended up before half scoring again, but we missed the extra point, so we go into halftime down 14-13. We were going to get the ball to open the second half, and that drive was going to be big for us, and our offense drove it down, converted some big third and fourth downs on that drive. I think we took off 7 minutes off the clock of the third quarter, ended up scoring on fourth down and going up 20-13. I thought our defense played well for most of the night, and we actually had the ball, I think with about 4 minutes to go. Really had a chance to kind of put it away, and we had a third and 3 that we didn't execute, and we went for it on fourth down on their side. Didn't get it, and really had a chance to kind of put it away or really make it difficult for them to come back if we converted there. But so defense comes out, and we let one slip through with about 1:04 to go, and so they took the lead 21-20. And then the next kickoff, when I felt like we hadn't shown the return that we ended up using the whole night. We knew kind of where the ball was going to go. They had been kicking it to our left all night, and so I thought it set it up well for the return that we had on, and we had a sideline return, and Reese Rusher, once he got the edge, I knew we had a shot, and ended up taking it 90 yards back for a touchdown to take the lead late in the game. but there was still, time on the clock. And so, defense had to get out there and make another stop. And Kelby Broughton came up with a big sack calls fumble, and we ended up recovering it and winning the game. So, again, I mean, it was two good teams going at it. I think Carroll is a really good team, and so again, really happy with the win, really proud of our kids, but even more, proud of just the resiliency that they showed. And there was times in the game that we could have folded and laid down, and they didn't, and we kept dialing, found a way to win. And like I said, I think those are lessons that are gonna last, that are gonna carry us, through the season.
I love that. And you've already called out a player on special teams and on defense. What about the offense? Who stood out there?
Well, Reese Rusher, who, he kind of does everything for us. He didn't come off the field a lot. He had another big night at receiver. I think he had 5 or 6 receptions for 60 or 70 yards. Ricky Rodriguez had another big night, had over 100 yards rushing, had 2 touchdowns. Quarterback, I thought he, made some big throws. Connor Klosterman and we thought they were really good up front. I thought our guys battled well up front. Made some big plays when we needed to. Defensively, I thought, like I'd already mentioned, Kelby Broughton, I thought he really had a good night all the way around. Our defensive end. Josh Novall, one of our linebackers, I thought had a big night. Reese Rusher again came up with a big interception late in the game. They're driving and came up with a big interception that stopped one of their drives. And Drayson Gomez on both sides of the ball, offensively and defensively, is continuing to play well. And then, obviously Reese gets a lot of credit for that last kickoff return, but there's 10 other guys on the field, that have to do their job for him to be able to do what he did. And we talked about in close ball games that special teams needed to be our edge. And I thought we were. That was obviously a big play in the game and one that, flipped the score. So, again, really proud of our kids across the board. And, we've continued to get better. We're still not, where we want to be yet, and that's a good thing because we can continue to get better. But as long as we continue to get better each week, we're on track.
Excellent. I love that. And this week, home game, and you're celebrating some people who play an important role on the sidelines during the game. Sure.
Yeah. Before the game, we're going to recognize our band seniors and our Top Cats, which is our dance team, the seniors, and we don't have a whole lot of home games left, so these opportunities to be able to recognize, especially our seniors, is always special.
Yeah, definitely. Let's talk about Rockport Fulton. They're 2-2. Last year it was a pretty easy win. It looked 29-7. What do we expect from them?
Well, I'll tell you this, with these guys, it's never an easy win. Right. I think Coach Sosa has done a really good job with that program the last 2 years, and they've continued to get better. And, one of the tough things is, on offense, they're a slot T offense, and, and, that's something that you don't see very often. And, and so it's not only is it, is it different to prepare for in practice, but, you're also having to kind of coach your scout teams up to try to give us a good look. And so, it poses a different challenge, than most weeks, just because it's not something that we do, offensively, and it's not something that we see a lot. So, we've got to be really disciplined with our eyes on defense, and we've got to be sound, and we've got to be great tacklers. And, because, for them, 3-4 yards is a good play, and, they can really milk the clock and take a lot of time off the clock. So, that means offensively, every drive that we get, that we've got to be efficient, we've got to put points on the board when we get a chance. And so I think they play extremely hard. I think they've got some good players, some good athletes, and defensively, I think they do a lot of things that poses problems, and so again, we're going to have to play well, and we're going to have to execute, and it'll be a good game.
Nice. And you mentioned their slot T. Are they a true slot T, or kind of this hybrid that you're starting to see more of a spread T where they kind of switch back and forth?
No, they are true slot T mafia.
Nice.
And obviously, Eric and his dad, his dad was one of the ones that him and Bruce Bush, and the ones that really started that whole slot T movement and offense, and they've been doing it for a long time, and so they do it really well, and so again, it'll be a good challenge for us.
And then how do they line up defensively?
Defensively, they're going to load the box, and they're going to try to put more in the box than you can block and stop the run. They do a good job of mixing stuff up between even and odd fronts, and there's a lot of movement going on. They like to twist and slant, and then on the outside is they're gonna come up and challenge you. They play a lot of man, and they're going to make you win your one-on-one battles, and they're going to pressure the quarterback, and so they do a really good job in what they do, and they make you, they don't give you anything easy, and there's no freebies out there, and they make you earn everything you get. So I think schematically on both sides of the ball, they do a really good job.
Excellent. And finally, Coach, what about the health of the kids? How are the Wildcats?
I think for the most part we're good. We're missing one of our starters right now, but everybody's kind of in the same boat, and we're kind of getting to that point of the season, midway point almost, and which is crazy to say because it just seems like we just got going here, but hopefully we'll get some of those guys back, but for the most part we're in good shape. Excellent.
Well, once again, congratulations on the dramatic win over Carroll. Best of luck this week, and look forward to talking next week.
Yes, sir. Appreciate it.
Since 2012, JE Construction Services has built the roads and infrastructure that keeps South Texas moving. Their heavy civil expertise covers refinery work, underground utilities, paving, and more. If you want a dependable, full-service contractor, choose JE Construction Services. Visit their website at jecs.cc. That's JE Construction Services.